Hello and welcome. In today's class, we'll be focusing on back strengthening. This is something that sometimes gets missed from yoga practice, but if we just know a few really simple techniques, then it's something that we can easily incorporate into our usual practice. So let's get started today in child's pose. Coming onto your knees, bringing your big toes together, letting the knees come comfortably wide, and then we can start to gently fold the body forward. You might find that you need to rest onto your forearms here, or maybe stack the palms and rest the forehead down. Some of you will be comfortable extending the arms forward and releasing the forehead to the floor. And let's just take a moment to bring our awareness and attention to our breathing as it is right here, right now. And if it's possible in your body, you're going to breathe in and out through your nose for today's practice. And see if you can notice a gentle expansion of the belly with the inhale. And then a natural drawing back in on the exhale. Couple more breaths here, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just continuing in your own natural rhythm here. And knowing that throughout today's practice, if you want to come back to child's pose at any point, then you can. This pose is always here for you. If you're ready to move on your next inhale, come forward into a tabletop position. Bring your knees underneath your hips and your shoulders above the wrists. Spread the fingers nice and wide, press down into your fingertips. And let's start with a few rounds of cat-cow. So tailbone lifts, belly drops, heart pulls forward, chin lifts. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, start to round through the spine, bring your chin towards your chest. 4 more rounds. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, but keep a little bit of engagement through the tummy muscles. Lift the chin. And then exhale as you gently round through the spine, pushing the floor away with the hands. 3 rounds to go. Inhale, let's just start to get a little bit of mobility in our spine. And exhale, rounding out. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And at the end of that exhale, you can bring your spine back into neutral. Tuck the toes, lift the knees off the ground, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Some of you might find it's helpful to turn the fingertips slightly out here and then pressing the hands actively into the floor as you lift those hips up and back. If the hamstrings or the back body is feeling tight today, bend your knees so you can still get that lovely extension through your spine. Couple more breaths here, just allowing a little bit of time for that spine to stretch out. Good, and then from here, as you inhale, come forward into a plank position and then let the knees drop down onto the mat, modified plank, release the tops of the feet. Take a full breath in where you are, and as you exhale, start to bend the elbows and bring yourself all the way down onto your tummy. As we come onto our tummy, we just want to move our hands slightly back so that the elbows are above the wrists. The hands are nice and close to the body and the elbows are hugging in. See if you can let your forehead drop down onto the mat. So we're setting up for baby cobra here. And a really nice movement to do is just shrugging the shoulders. So if you bring your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them back and down. 2 more like that, shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them back and down. And last one, shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back and down and keep them back and down this time. Keep hugging your elbows towards the body and press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Now from there, with an inhale, try lifting your forehead off the floor and then see if you can start to lift the chest using your back muscles. So we're not using our hands to lift us just yet. 1 more breath in where you are. Exhale, forehead back to the floor. So although we're not moving far, this is a very effective way of strengthening our spine. Let's go again. Inhale, lifting up, baby cobra. See if you can feel that activation of the back muscles and keep squeezing those elbows in towards your body. Exhale, lower down. Last one. See if you can hold at the top. Inhale to lift. Think about the crown of the head reaching forward, tops of the feet still pressing down, elbows hugging in, shoulders back and down. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, lower down, forehead to the mat. Now from here, pressing into your hands, see if you can come back onto all fours and then nice and gently hips to heels, child's pose. The spine can feel a little bit sensitive, particularly if you're not used to doing these kind of movements. So just take it nice and gently when you first begin this practice. Good, so on your next inhale, come forward into tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. As you inhale, come forward back into your plank pose. Some of you might like to bring the knees down as we did before, or you can keep the knees lifted. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, bend the elbows, hug those elbows in towards the body as you lower your way all the way down to the mat. Release the tops of the feet. Hands are beside the lower rib cage. We're hugging the elbows in. Forehead to the mat. Let's start with baby cobra once more. So inhale, lifting into that baby cobra. Feel the back muscles activating. And then if you want more, press into the palms and see if that helps you come a little higher. Keep hugging the elbows in, shoulders back and down. Heart and rib cage pulling forward. Couple of breaths at the top there. Should feel hard. 1 more breath in, and then nice and slow, lower your way back down. So try not to just drop to the floor. 2 more like that to go. Inhale as we lift into that baby cobra. When you can't come up any higher, press into the hands. See if that gives you a little bit more height. Keep hugging the elbows in, keep pulling the rib cage forward. Take another deep breath in at the top, and then as you exhale, nice and gently lowering yourself back down. Last one. Roll the shoulders back and down, hug the elbows in. Inhale as you lift. If you want more, press into the palms. Keep feeling those back muscles engaging. Keep pressing firmly into the hands. And then nice and gently releasing down on an exhale. Good. Press into the hands, all fours. And then nice and gently child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead to the floor. Maybe you notice that the breath has become a little bit more choppy. See if you can smooth and lengthen it out here. Good. As you inhale, let's come forward to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, rise to the toes, look to the hands. And then let's start to walk those feet up to the top of the mat. So that might be lots of little steps. It might be one big step. Landing with the feet about hip distance. Bend the knees as much as you need to here to bring the tummy towards the thighs. And then relax the arms down towards the floor. So from our forward fold, we're going to lift into a half forward fold or a flat back. So if we slide our hands up to our shins, engage through the tummy muscles, and then feel like you're trying to pull your heart forward. This is going to help us lengthen the spine. Shoulders away from the ears, armpits are hugging in towards the body, and the neck is long, so crown of the head is reaching forward. One more breath in where you are, and then as you exhale, you can let the knees bend, let the spine relax and round, let the head and neck drop down. Let's do 2 more. So inhale, lifting up, engage tummy muscles, pull that heart forward. And then exhale, relax your way all the way back down. Let the spine round, let the knees bend. Last one. Inhale, lifting up halfway. So hands are to the shins, squeezing the armpits, crown of the head reaching forward. This time as you exhale, can you bring your hands to your hips? And then press into your toes. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. And as you exhale, relax the arms down. Really nice, guys. Well done. All right, so we're going to work with strengthening a bit into the upper back and the back of the shoulders here. So standing tall in your mountain pose, and then with an inhale, arms are coming up into a V shape. You can stretch out through your fingertips here, soften the shoulders gently away from the ears. And what I want you to imagine is that you're going to be pulling yourself up on a pull-up bar here, but we're actually just going to be using our arms to do this. So take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you can make fists with the hands, and then imagine you're trying to pull the body up on a pull-up bar. So there's a bit of resistance as we do that. As you get down into this kind of W shape with the arms, see if you can slightly move the elbows forward and the fists slightly back, and notice how that feels in the back of the shoulders. So that's 1, 4 more to go. Inhale as we stretch out into that V shape, reach through the fingertips, and then exhale, make fists, squeeze those arms down. So if you're pulling yourself up on that pull-up bar, when you get to the bottom, see if the elbows will come slightly forward as that fist moves slightly back. That's 2, 3 to go. Inhale to lift, nice and controlled movement. Exhale, squeezing down. Bring that awareness to the back body. 2 to go. Inhale. And then exhale, squeeze, feel the backs of the shoulders working, elbows slightly forward, fists slightly back. 2 to go. Inhale. And exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Hold at the bottom there. Elbows slightly forward, fists slightly back. Feel the heart lifting. Squeeze through the glutes. Nice strong legs. 1 more breath in where you are. And then exhale, relax the arms down. Maybe give it a little shake out. Perfect. All right. Coming back to the top of the mat if you're not there already. And then drawing the hands together at heart center. You can have your feet together or your feet at hip distance, but nice strong legs, squeezing through the glutes here. And then from there, feeling a sense of the shoulders dropping back and down, just like we did in our baby cobra. And then imagine someone's got a piece of string attached to your heart, and they're trying to lift that up. And so the chin stays tucked to the chest, the shoulders draw back and down, the heart lifts up. Keep pressing into your toes. Now this might be enough, you can stay, or with an inhale, you might extend the arms up and back as well. As you exhale, we're folding forward. So hinging from the hips, come all the way down over those legs, release head and neck. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor. You can bend the knees here. Walk your feet back, find plank pose. You can stay in full plank or lower the knees down. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend those elbows, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Now as we come onto our tummy this time, arms extend behind us so they're parallel with the body. Forehead touches the floor. Locust pose. Inhale, lift forehead, hands and feet away from the floor. Squeeze your glutes. And then exhale, lower back down. 2 more to go. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Ride that wave of the breath. Last time. Inhale to lift. See if you can hold at the top. So exhale here. Inhale. Exhale. Last inhale, maybe you come a little higher. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Hands beside the lower ribs, elbows hugging in. Cobra or baby cobra. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, lower down. Downward facing dog. You can come via the knees. Send those hips all the way up and back. Let's just settle and breathe for a moment. Remembering that if downward facing dog is feeling a little much, you always have child's pose as an option here. Couple more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise to the toes, look to the hands. Exhale, feet step to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting up halfway. See if you can maintain that position of the spine. Exhale, hands to hips. Press into your toes. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, arms relax to the sides of the body. Inhale, join your palms together in front of the heart, strong through the legs. And as you exhale, drop the shoulders, lift up through the heart space, keep the chin tucking to the chest. This is a very subtle movement. It doesn't need to be big, but it's just starting to feel those back muscles working a little bit harder. If you want more from here, inhale, extend the arms up overhead, and then exhale, we fold our way all the way down. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, step your feet back, plank or modified. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows, shoulders are coming forward of those wrists as you come down. Good. Once we land onto the tummy, arms coming out to the side, palms facing down, bending the elbows 90 degrees, cactus arms. From here, lifting your arms, your forehead and your feet away from the floor. And then see if you can squeeze your elbows and your shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, lower back down to the mat. 2 more to go. Inhale as you lift, squeeze the elbows and shoulder blades together. And exhale to lower. And last one. Inhale to lift. See if you can hold for a breath or two at the top. Notice how the inhale naturally takes you a little higher. 1 more breath in. Can you come up any more? Exhale, relax down. Take a breath or two. These can be tough. Hands beside the lower ribs. Hug the elbows in. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause here. Let the breath steady out. I can definitely feel that my breath has got a little choppy, so shows that we're working hard. On your next inhale, rise to the toes, look forward. Exhale, step feet top of the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, bringing that spine parallel to the floor. And as you exhale, hands to the hips. Press into the toes. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, relax the arms to the sides of the body. Last one of these. Inhale, hands join at heart center. Exhale, shoulders drop back, heart lifts up, chin to chest. You can stay, or inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale as you fold all the way down. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to the mat, step your feet back, plank pose. Inhale where you are. Exhale, bend the elbows, lowering yourself nice and gently to the mat. Release tops of feet. Extend the arms forward in front. Rest your forehead down onto the mat. As you inhale, right leg lifts up, left arm lifts up. And then exhale, drop it down. Inhale, left leg, right arm lifts. And exhale to lower. 2 more each side. Inhale, right leg, left arm lifts. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm lifts. Exhale, lower. 1 more each side. Lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale. Lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale. Settle for a moment, breathe. And then this time, both arms and both legs lift. As you inhale, forehead comes off the floor. And then exhale to lower. 2 more to go. Inhale as we lift. Exhale to lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. See if you can hold at the top. Superman pose. Arms stretching forward, feet stretching back, glutes engaged. 1 more breath in. And then exhale, relax. Lower down. Hands come and settle at the lower ribs. Hug the elbows in. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale, lower down. And then press your way back to child's pose this time. Hips to heels, forehead to the floor. Give yourself a moment to rest. Good, and then when you're ready to, you can start to bring yourself back up into a kneeling position. And so we're going to work a little bit more on strengthening kind of the upper and middle parts of the back with our camel pose. So to come into camel, you want to be standing onto your knees. And to begin with, having the backs of the feet flat on the floor is fine. If you prefer to tuck the toes under, that's fine as well. We'll take our hands and we'll place them onto our lower back. And just like we did when we were standing, the legs are strong. So we're squeezing through the glutes and we're slightly tucking the tailbone under here. Hands providing a little bit of support for the lower back. And then we're hugging those elbows in towards each other behind the body. Now, chin to chest, heart lifting up. And as you squeeze through the back body, you see if you can lift up through the heart space. Breathe into the chest. So it feels hard to breathe into the belly in this pose. So what you can imagine is breathing wide, almost like you're trying to breathe into your armpits. Couple more breaths here. One more breath in. And as you exhale, engage through your tummy muscles, bring the pelvis back into neutral, and then nice and slowly we can sit back down onto our heels. Just take a moment to notice the after effect of that posture on the body. And so for our second round, you can repeat exactly what we've just done, or I'm going to give you an option to make it a little harder. So coming back up onto high knees, and then you could try tucking your toes underneath your feet. Let's start the same. Let's provide the lower back with that little bit of support of the hands. Squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward, and then start to lift up through the heart space. If you feel okay here, you might take one hand down, see if it can hold onto a heel, bring it back up. Maybe try that on the other side, see if that works. Bring it back up. And if you want more, both at the same time. So hands come to the heels. I'm pressing the hips forward, so squeezing through the glutes. I'm lifting up through the heart space, and I like to keep my chin tucked towards the chest rather than looking up. If you want to look up, that's fine. Just try not to let the head drop right back. And when we're coming out of camel pose, we can try to bring our hands back to our hips first. Draw the tummy muscles in, release the tops of the feet, and then nice and gently sitting back onto our heels. Take a breath or two there. Just feel the after effect of that pose on the body. And then if you want to round the spine into child's pose, that can be nice here. One way to do that would be to keep the knees together. You might need to use your hands to support the head there, or some of you will be able to take those arms just behind. Good, and then whenever you're ready, you can come out of your child's pose and we'll meet on our spine lying down. So coming down onto our back, hugging those knees into the chest, perhaps taking a gentle rocking side to side on the spine, giving that back a massage. We've worked hard in the back today. You can allow your feet to drop down onto the mat as we set up for a bridge pose here. So heels nice and close to the tailbone, toes pointing forward, and you can have your feet at hip distance, or if you prefer to have those feet a little wider, that works really nicely for this pose as well. Let's extend our arms to the sides of the body, palms facing down. And just make sure that your chin is kind of tucking in towards the chest, so the back of the neck feels nice and long. And then from there, tucking the tailbone, starting to lift the lower back, the middle back, maybe even the upper back away from the floor. The chest is coming to meet the chin is coming to meet the chest. If this is enough, stay here. If you want more, you could try interlacing the hands underneath the spine, seeing if you can draw the shoulder blades a little closer together, and then pressing the arms down into the floor. At the same time, we're pressing into our heels, we're squeezing through the glutes to lift that back body away from the floor. Just a few more rounds of breath here. And maybe you can actually watch and see the torso moving with the breath here in this position. If you're clasping the hands behind the back, Release that, bring the palms flat. Take one more breath in your bridge pose, and then nice and gently you can start to bring yourself out. Once the spine comes back to land onto the floor, try to resist the urge to immediately hug the knees into the chest. Just give the spine time to settle. And then if it feels right to draw the knees in, feel free. We're going to come into a nice, simple reclining twist here. So feet back to the floor, hips and feet slightly to the left. Let your knees drop over towards your right. It's absolutely fine to use some padding, a cushion or a block underneath the legs if the legs struggle to come all the way to the floor. And then if you want more in the upper body, you could expand the arms out into a T shape, or you could bend the elbows 90 degrees for cactus arms. Choosing the position to rest your head in, you could turn the gaze away from the knees. You could keep the neck in line with the spine, or you could gently turn the head the same way as the knees. One option is not better than another. All options are equal, so you choose which feels best in your body today. Good, and then with an inhale, you can bring your knees back up to center. Move the hips slightly to the right, move the feet slightly to the right, and then let the knees drop over to the left. You can keep the arms in the same position that they were in before, or you can choose something different. Another option that can be nice is just gently resting hands onto belly. Deciding the position of that head and neck, looking away from the knees, looking straight up, or looking towards the knees. Just allow the awareness and attention to be in the internal experience of your body. What a miracle it is to have this human body and to be able to move, and to be able to breathe, and to be able to feel sensation. On your next inhale, you can bring those knees back up to center. You might like to hug the knees in and bring your forehead up towards the knees, giving yourself a big squeeze. And then our final pose of Shavasana, extending the legs out long, toes perhaps as wide as the mat, feet gently dropping outwards, shoulder blades shuffling underneath the body, and arms slightly away from the body with the palms facing up. You may choose to close down your eyes and just scan the awareness of your body. From head to toes and all the way out to the fingertips. And if there was somewhere in the body that you can just soften and relax a little bit more, feel free to do that. And we'll just spend these final few minutes of practice letting the benefits of the practice integrate. Rest is one of the most essential elements of our practice. So if you have longer to stay today, I encourage you to stay as long as you need. But if you are ready to move on with your day, let's just start to make some gentle movements, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. You could inhale and reach your arms all the way up overhead. Take a nice full body stretch. And then exhale, bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the floor. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe a gentle rocking side to side on the spine. And when you feel ready to, bringing yourself back up into a final seated position. So I hope that you found this practice helpful today. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch. And I look forward to seeing you next time.